Hi everybody, Ryan Ballingy here. With the news that Steve Williams is going to become a part-time caddy in 2014 at the tail end of the season, it got me thinking about my favorite Steve Williams story. The man is typically thought of as a pretty guff guy, and he's a little bit raw, and maybe is not the most refined guy in the world, but it turns out he's pretty funny at times, even when he's kind of insensitive. And the story I'm thinking of is from the 2011 Masters, and it's when Tiger Woods is making his run on the front nine in the final round and giving himself a chance to win the golf tournament. He's just birdied the seventh hole, and Woods goes to the eighth tee, the par 5, the long par 5 on that side. And he's going up to the tee box and separates from Williams, who, after giving the driver to Woods, walks down the fairway and kind of stops in one of the crosswalks, maybe 150, 175 yards off the tee. He's going to stand there while Tiger hits, instead of having to lug the bag up back to the back tee box, the championship tee, and then all the way back down the 300 yards. Woods is going to hit the drive. So Woods is back there, and they're getting ready to hit. Meanwhile, Williams is along the rope line, and a couple of fans come over, and I'm there near Williams because I'm kind of interested in the conversation that's about to unfold. And this kid, maybe in his teens, maybe early 20s, walks up to Williams and says, "Hey, Stevie, can I have one of Tiger's golf balls?" And Stevie just kind of looks back at him and doesn't really think about it too much. And the kid repeats himself and asks Stevie for one of Tiger's golf balls. And Stevie turns around and looks at the guy and says, "It begins with P and ends with E." And the kid is probably drunk and also very confused. And Stevie repeats himself and says, "It begins with P and ends with E." And the guy looks at him and goes, "Pussy?" First of all, that's hilarious because even if that's a not safe for work term, that's not how you spell it. It doesn't start with P and end with E. And Steve Williams chuckles and goes, "No, it starts with a P and ends with an E." And the guy repeats himself and goes, "Pussy?" And Williams sighs one more time and goes, "You Americans, you don't know how to ask for things." And the guy, it finally dawns on him what he should have said all along. He goes, "Please?" And Steve goes, "Okay," and gives him one of Tiger's golf balls. And then the guy looks at it for a second and is kind of marveling at what he's got. A potential memento from maybe one of the greatest comebacks in Masters history, if it pays off, although it doesn't. And then he goes to Stevie, "Hey, Stevie, can you have Tiger sign this golf ball for me?" And Steve just turns and laughs at him. By now, Tiger has hit his drive, and he just walks down the fairway. It was a perfect interaction for Steve Williams with a guy who knew who Steve Williams was and knew his reputation and wanted to have some fun with him, and got actually a really great memento out of it. Then Tiger eagles the hole, and the whole place goes nuts. And Tiger doesn't win the golf tournament, but that's what I always thought about when I think the 2011 Masters, is that Steve Williams story. So in one sense, from that kind of crowd interaction standpoint, not the one where he takes cameras and stomps them, but from that standpoint, I'll miss Steve Williams.